we don't have this quorum in the room, so we won't be able to vote on anything. Not that we have much to vote on this agenda. I'll just bring up, I sent out a copy of the the county board's proposed changes to the advisory group handbook. If anybody would like to, discuss that today, we can open that up. Also, if anybody wants to send me their comments individually, I would suggest sending it individually as opposed to like the group. So we don't, trigger the public comment rules with those type of group emails. I can compile any comments anyone has and send that over to the board for comment. If you get that to me, I'd say by end of next week. But with that, I'd leave it open if anybody has any comments on that the proposed changes to the advisory commission's group handbook.
Hey, Bill, it's Stephen. Just a quick question. Have the chairs for other committees or commissions been talking sort of independently about whether or not there's any interest in doing collective feedback to the county board?
I haven't heard that, no. I can reach out to some of the chairs to see if they have any interest, but I have not been contacted by any other chairs on that. And Wanda, your hand's raised.
Yes, I actually had when I saw Kellen's name in the article, the Gazette article, I contacted Kellen. He's the chair for the Housing Commission, and asked him a little bit about, what was going on in terms of the handbook and the proposed changes. So he shared some of his concerns and was able to read that, and I told him that I completely agreed with his concerns, and I shared that with you, Bill. So I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at it yet. I sent it just to you via email a day or so ago.
Yeah, I received that, and yeah, thanks for sending that over. Those are very good, like substantive comments and critiques, and yeah, I guess I should have clarified. Kellen didn't reach out to me directly, so there's been no direct conversation between chairs between different committees. But Wanda, as she said, did send me over his feedback on the advisory group handbook changes, and that again is Kellen McBeth, who's the chair of the Housing Committee. Any other comments on the handbook? And again, if anybody has any later, just feel free to email me any feedback or concerns you have with the changes, and I'm just gonna put it together. It's supposed to be communicated through the chair to the certain contacts they provided for the county board. So I'll just compose that into one email to send to them, and then after I share the emails, I'll share that with everyone else of what we sent over.
Hey, Bill, sorry, it's Stephen again. Would it be possible for you to tell us what Wanda's comments were so you don't get 5 more emails from commissioners giving you the same feedback that you've already gotten?
Yeah, sure. Let me pull it up.
Or Wanda can do it. Either one's fine.
Right. And they're actually comments I received from the housing chair. He shared the comments that he sent to the county board, which was very thorough, and I was in complete agreement, and that's what I shared with Bill.
And I can actually send that, I could, it's a lot, so I'm not gonna be able to capture it all just speaking now, but I can also just send that out to the group. Just again, just try to avoid, group conversation in the email. But the issues that he raised were the first was the limitations on the communications with media by advisory group members. That was its first issue, was that he thought that those were too kind of expansive and limiting on on the commission members and just on the, knowledge of the public to be notified of what's going on in the commissions. The second one is limitations on the approval of subcommittees. The other issue we had was with, and this is kind of related, and kind of we talked with Kellen about the idea of having these joint advisory committees. This third issue was on engagement between advisory groups. He thought that that it could be more kind of permissive, that the handbook could be more permissive in allowing the engagement between different advisory groups on shared issues. The fourth one was on cross-departmental coordination. And again, these are very similar issues that he's bringing up. It just depends on what entities we're talking about here. But the other one is, again, very similar. External communications, the limitations on external communications from the advisory groups, such as sending communications on to federal agencies or state agencies or any other type of relevant entity. And the final one is with that one's just with an issue of let me just look at this one again. As the process of notifying assemblies and organizations. I see. Limitations on not sending things to county board members directly. His issue there was just he thought it would be more effective if you could have that type of communication as opposed to sending it to the county board office for them to distribute it to the board members. So those are the main issues, and like there's way more detail he provides for each one, but I'll just share what Wanda shared with me through that email and forward it to the rest of the commission.
Thank you.
Any other comments on that? Again, if you have anything you think of later, just feel free to email.
The only comment that I have, Bill, is just it's interesting how this advisory handbook has not been revised since what has it been 10 years, and all of a sudden, since the Human Rights Commission is advocating for, or we sent the letter to the Department of Justice because people were dying in the jail. It just seems very coincidental that the advisory handbook had not had any changes made for over 10 years until the Human Rights Commission is advocating for lives within Arlington County. And all of a sudden, there's these significant changes to the advisory handbook in terms of speaking with the media, and you have to get permission first, and all these restrictions, which to me it sounds like an attempt for the county board to silence us, and that's just my opinion. I find it very disturbing. I agree 100% with Kellen's comments, specific comments and concerns, because that's, in my opinion, is what this advisory handbook, the changes is intended to do, is to silence and to have us rubber stamp everything that the county board wants. So that's just my viewpoint from it. And that's why I completely agree with comments that Kellen from the Housing Commission made.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like the key changes being proposed are directly in response to actions that not only that our commission took in regards to the detention center, but also what the Housing Commission was trying to propose with the joint cooperation between our two advisory groups. Okay, with that, I'll move on to any public comment. If no public comment, I'll move on to extensions. Any extensions? Well, we can't vote on them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I'll have to wait till August.
We don't meet in
We
August.
don't meet.
Oh, it'll
We do
be,
it in July.
oh, even July, okay, yeah, I'm mixing up the 2 months, yeah. Okay, so next meeting, which will be virtual. Okay, with that, does anybody have any other issues they'd like to discuss?
I brought up something last month,
Mhm.
Bill, in terms of the agenda, and I inquired as to why we didn't post an agenda on the website, and we basically tabled it until this month when you returned. If you could provide some context, or I know you're a new chair, but if you can provide any context, because I thought, and it seems like there was pretty much a consensus to have the agenda posted
Okay,
for transparency.
so how are things posted on the website?
We post them, we can post it, it's on. We just
As long
need
as we
to
have it.
as long as we have it in advance, we can post
We
it.
just never had it in the past because
Yeah.
nobody was to.
Yeah.
I don't know in Roland's, he's been here the longest,
Yeah,
even back then, but it was never.
Sometimes you might change it, or maybe that's why it was never really done, but we never were requested before, but we can.
And
Okay.
Send it to us in advance and. we'll post it.
yeah, I can send it, yeah, so I can send it to you in advance. If you make any changes, we can announce it at the beginning of the
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah, no, we can do that then if that's that easy, yeah. Anything else anybody wants to raise?
Oh, Bill, this is Roland. Did you see where I raised my hand?
No.
Oh no. I was just going to say that in the past we didn't post the agenda,
Mhm.
and we were probably one of the few commissions that didn't post the agenda. But my suggestion is maybe you might want to consider just posting some agenda, because you always have, as the chair, you always have the opportunity to amend the agenda. So in other words, if you post something a week ahead of time, but something else comes up, I think you still would have met the requirement. I don't think there is a requirement that we have to post it, but all of the other commissions pretty much do post it. And if you look at their agendas, it pretty much is a generic type of agenda.
Okay,
But then when you actually go to the meeting itself, it may have some additional things added on. So that's something that you can just consider doing.
okay, yeah, that's what I think that's the best, honestly, like, I would just say, I think that's probably the best option. I'll share the agenda with you all. You can post it on the website. If we have any changes to the agenda, I can make those and announce at the beginning of the meeting, and just follow the way that the other advisory committees seem to be doing it. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right, anything else? Sure, just in time for us to be at the end. Because we don't have well, we don't have much on the agenda anyway. But,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Somehow I didn't realize this was a hybrid meeting. I would have just taken it from home.
Oh, all of them are technically hybrid. We just have to, in order to be able to vote, we have to have quorum.
In the room,
Yeah.
and we don't, even with my presence, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, with that, I mean, unless there's anything else, I'll entertain a motion.
Well, Fatman, you have anything to say since you're here? Want to bring up any issues? Or?
no, I don't think there's anything that can't wait till the next time. I appreciate the opportunity to comment. There's nothing burning on my plate.
Well, we were just talking about the handbook and transparency.
Sure.
And the agenda being posted.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think transparency is important for anybody that deliberates and is in a position to consult any public entity, especially if they're, well, You guys just want to go home. You don't want to.
Hey, we're here, we have the time. No, no, no,
I
no.
mean, I think,
We are here to talk.
I mean, to me, it's a truism. I think any body that deliberates and has, any deliberative body that has, it's in a capacity to advise and provide consulting to, what amounts to consulting to, as an input into public policy, has to have transparency.
Agreed. Okay, well, I guess I don't even have to entertain a motion.
No.
Yeah.
No, we
I guess
just,
we can, yeah.
good night.
All right, well,
Anybody on the
And
call?
just a reminder to everyone, the next one is completely virtual for July. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have one on August.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we
no,
don't.
yes. Okay, well, hope everyone has a good weekend.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
And
11?
yeah, yeah.
It's the second,